Hello, everybody, and welcome to CPN Curtis's Podcast Network. I'm the host of the channel, Curtis Brown, and today we're going to be talking everything Titans. With me, as always, our resident Titans fan on the channel, Blake Bellamy. Blake, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? How are y'all?
Yeah, cooling it, doing the usual. It's we had a little bit of scheduling things, so we're doing Tighten Up Tuesday on a Wednesday. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Got a new brand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, tweak a name or something, but so
Tighten up every day. That's what it should be.
Tighten up every
day. Because I can't keep a schedule, so it's tighten up every day.
Stay tightened up. Stay tight.
Yeah, so I don't got to get tight.
Stay tight.
Yeah, it's a terrible name in prison, but I'll do. It is what it is on the outside.
TF in the chat. What up, baby?
What's up, young man? And I saw I'm a bad friend. Titan Fox had a birthday a couple days ago, so happy birthday, Titan Fox.
Oh shit! Happy birthday to you.
I saw the notifications after his birthday. I was like, oh man, I can't. I'll just wait till the podcast. So happy birthday, buddy.
Oh man, so big week for the Titans. Huge week. They bring in arguably one of the top, 5 to 10 wide receivers in the NFL, and he's still in the latter part of the prime, but still doing a thing.
Yeah, he's on a 2-year deal, 2-year, $26 million. I mean, whenever he left Arizona, he said he wasn't looking for a pay raise. He just wants to go to a contender. And I wouldn't consider Titans like a top contender, but I do think we can go to the playoffs. And I think if any team that goes to the playoffs can go is a contender. So I'm glad he's here. I think he makes this team so much better. And the Titans wide receiver core was just so dried out. That I think his presence is going to really boost the young guys like Treylon Burks, especially maybe Kyle Phillips and Chris Moore. He's the veteran that we could bring in there too. So good things looking ahead for the Titans, at least in the wide receiver room.
Yeah. See, here's the interesting part about D-Hop. He was in Houston for a number of years. What's good, Volcano? How you doing, brother?
Shout out Grizzlies. They're having a heck of an offseason too.
Yeah. Deandre Hopkins was in Houston for a number of years, and I think it's pretty safe to say he didn't really have a super solid impact on the rest of the wide receiver room.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else really developed. DeAndre Hopkins became the crutch for whatever quarterback was throwing him the ball.
Yeah, well, that's his thing. He's never had a good quarterback. He had Kyler Murray, which is his best, and then Kyler Murray, those two didn't play a ton together the last 2 years.
He did play with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson here and there. Yeah, you're right. He did have Deshaun Watson, but he had so many just garbage quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That this guy can catch passes from anybody. He's not one of those guys that you need a Peyton Manning, you need a Joe Burrow to succeed. This guy, he can catch passes from me or you, and he'd be just fine.
Yeah, and that's good, but I think there's a lot of issues that he brings to the offense.
Okay.
For example, he's not a locker room guy.
No, yeah.
He's not going to really engage with young dudes and teach them a whole lot on his own volition. He doesn't really practice a lot. I could probably count on one hand the amount of times he actually practiced while he was a Houston Texan.
Mm-hmm.
He also gets a shitload of targets. You're going to throw that man the ball. And Deshaun Watson would throw him the ball as, like a toss-up, give DeAndre a shot, which caused a lot of turnovers in Houston. Mm-hmm. And the same trend continued in Arizona. As the first year he was there, Kyler Murray threw the most interceptions he's ever had and had the second most fumbles of his career, only to be topped a year later. DeAndre Hopkins hasn't played a full season in the last couple years. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly what happens if he were to miss games. Because now you've got guys, Treylon Burks is now the number 2 because DeAndre is clearly the one.
Clearly the one.
So you're going to be asking all these young dudes and unheralded guys to step up, which is, kind of the Titan way as of late. But you can't. I just feel like eventually the luck has to run out, and when it comes to things like that, because the Titans have had an unusual amount of misfortune and then luck behind it. Finding guys on the street who come in and do a phenomenal job. You can't always bat 1,000, but I mean, it's got to run out eventually. Specifically, if you want to look at the 1 seed year, you're talking about a team that was the most historically banged up team in all of probably sports history. And they managed to pull out a 1 seed, and I called them the most fraudulent 1 seed in history, as they lost that game. What was it? Was that the Cincinnati game?
Cincinnati, where they threw 3 straight picks. Well, three picks. Tannehill did.
Yeah. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and DeAndre Hopkins. If there was more around them, I would have a lot more hope. But the offensive line is, if you want to look positively, they're a lateral step.
The offensive line?
Yeah.
I think getting Dennis Daly off your team makes you a better team in general. I think the Carolina Panthers got better the second he left. I think Tennessee will get better the second he leaves. And I think Arizona got worse now that Dennis Daly's on that team.
Yes, and I get that, but Daly at the beginning of the year was a backup. He was not somebody that the Titans initially were like, yeah, we're going to rely on this guy.
We did, though, and he played most of the season.
I know. He played, 16 games?
Maybe, but he became the starter. I want to say it was that Buffalo game. I think that was week 4, week 5.
Yeah, so a fair amount of games.
Yeah, a lot.
He had his best year last year with hold on. Oh, are we talking about Moore in the chat?
Yeah, they're talking about something else. I think it's
they're talking about Chris Moore.
Yeah, I'm a lot more optimistic about D-Hop, though. I understand. So a couple of your points that honestly I don't even take into consideration because I think it's expected and everyone knows this comes with D-Hop. You said he's not going to be a locker room guy. I definitely understand that one. I feel like every wide receiver, though, is not a locker room guy. Unless you're like Larry Fitzgerald, because wide receivers and corners are just I think corners are a little bit more mature, but there's so many of those skill guys that are just divas, honestly. A lot of wide receivers are kind of cancerous. So honestly, I didn't expect that. I don't think anyone's going to come in there and mentor Treylon when it comes to that sense. I think he'll be beneficial just because people are going to have to start covering D-Hop and they're not going to be focusing as much on Treylon. So he can develop at his own pace going against the number 2 corner as opposed to everyone's shutdown corner. So I'd rather him, go against, just some random number 2 as opposed to Sauce Gardner type.
Yeah.
Whereas, if we play the Jets, Sauce Gardner is going to be probably shadowing D-Hop the entire game. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I don't think he's going to come in here and get 1,000-something yards. Honestly, a win for me would be 700-800 yards, 4 touchdowns. Because Titans, that's another critique. You said that he doesn't need a lot of targets or he gets a lot of targets. He's just not going to get that in Tennessee unless we just drastically change our offense. And I just don't see that with Derrick Henry being on the team. I think he's probably going to get 5 targets max, which was my big conundrum with A.J. Brown. We just didn't throw him the ball. Throw him the damn ball. We really got to.
Yeah.
Because he can make the catches, man. That man can catch anything.
Yeah, and you bring up an interesting point that I looked up the other day. So last season, the Tennessee Titans averaged, I believe it was 26.8 pass attempts a game.
Yeah.
Which was the lowest in the NFL.
We never pass it.
Okay. For perspective here, the league leader in pass attempts in 1949, a Mr. Y.A. Tittle, averaged 26.3. That is insane.
Yeah, I know. I was critiquing that I used that stat from, I think it was the 1952 season, where that season, there's 8 teams, and if the Titans played in that year, we would have been 8th place when it came to points per game. Yeah. The offense was just piss poor last year. Thank God Todd Downing's gone. I put that up as my little thing last year. I still hate Todd Downing. Yeah, he's a piece of crap. He can't pass the football. He's going to be the Jets as a passing game coordinator. Smart. That's like hiring Hunter Biden as a DEA agent. It's incompatible.
He's just gonna steal it all. Yeah, no, I think the offense has. Okay, hold on, Volcano.
Yeah, I agree. Volcano.
The offense has potential to be good.
Potentially, yeah. We'll see who's play caller.
The offensive line has to do a lot of things really well. Not necessarily for Derrick Henry to do well, but for Ryan Tannehill to do well.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, Derrick Henry's going to do Derrick Henry things. It's just a matter of, can you keep Ryan Tannehill clean long enough? And the target share I was talking about. So I think the target share he was getting in Houston was like 150 plus targets over like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like each year.
That will never happen in Tennessee.
No. But the next closest on the Texans team was like 80 each season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, D-Hop's used to getting the ball thrown at him. He will become the safety blanket because he'll make crazy contested catches. And Ryan Tannehill's going to be smart to try to do those things.
Yeah.
But when you do those things, there's a risk, and usually that risk pays off in a turnover. And I think that's going to be a bigger issue this year than it was last year for the Titans.
And the Titans were like, Tannehill would have to do that. He would just have to just toss it up, make those contested. But the difference between this year and last year is last year he was throwing that ball, on 4th and 12, just tossing it up there. He was throwing it to Nick Westbrook, whereas now he's going to be throwing that to D-Hop.
Right. But now you double or triple cover, Deandre Hopkins on those in those situations. And, you're putting it in harm's way by doing that. The numbers game doesn't flatter you there.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to try to look for other people, but again, the Titans are hoping that some of these other guys can take steps because of the heat that DeAndre Hopkins is going to draw when he's on the field. I mean, defenses are going to be smart to figure out where he's at and try to take him away.
And I think who's really going to benefit from that is Chig Okonkwo, because anytime a receiver is just completely blanketed, Tannehill always checks down the tight ends. And last year, that was kind of Hooper. Took him a little while to get going, and then we found out Chig, what he can do. And he was just, by the time he could just dump it off to Chig, he was injured. And it was not Will Levis, Malik Willis just trying to find the ball to Chig Okonkwo. And I think he's going to be the guy that's going to now be the recipient of a lot of wide open routes. So I think now in the 4th and 12s, we might see a lot more Chig Okonkwo and use D-Hop as a decoy unless he's single coverage, which if a defense is single coveraging D-Hop on 4th and 12, then they deserve to get burned on that one.
Yeah. I mean, that's all-time bonehead of the year, award worthy. I don't see an issue with that. Like Chig and Treylon Burks are going to be looked at pretty frequently on those kind of crucial downs as they try to game plan on the defense that they're playing, taking away D-Hop, or whatever. But it's a thing. Like the Texans would just constantly throw the ball to D-Hop in all situations. It's just getting darker in here. Is that better?
That's good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a lot of issues that will be brought to light this season. I think this season for the AFC South in general is not going to be very good.
I think it's going to be like last year. I think it's going to be the two teams battling it out to win 9 or 10 games.
Yeah. I think 10 is probably the ceiling for this division, for the first place team. Even though we're all playing super soft schedules, I just don't see anything super crazy benefiting this division. We're all pretty mid.
Yeah,
we've all got holes. Some of us significantly less than others. The Jags are literally the only team that just progressed across the board.
Texans, you guys are just mean, you guys were rock bottom, so it's only ways up from here.
Right.
And then, yeah, I think the Titans, they got better. I think we got better with D-Hop, but before that, I was just like, the offense is what scares me. I think D-Hop, not that he's the missing piece of this offense, just because we do need more offensive line. And we'll talk about that later about a replacement there. But I think our wide receiver room is a lot better. Not necessarily just the wide receiver room, but I think just the pass catchers in general. Because I think the Titans are going to lean heavily on these tight ends. We have Chico Conquo, crazy athletic tight end. I think he's going to just explode this year. And then we also got Josh Wiley, the really athletic tight end in the 4th or 5th round. So I think there's going to be a lot of tight end play this year. So I think the Titans offense is going to be a lot better. And then, of course, you got Derrick Henry. And then they got Tajay Spears, who could be just a yak god. So we'll see. I think the offense got a lot better. I think defense is about the same. And I think they improved their secondary, which that's what they desperately needed help with.
I mean, again, I feel like the main nucleus of every offense and the defense, for that matter, is the big guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the Titans' defense really took any steps back in that regard.
Yeah, I agree.
But the offensive line, I mean, you definitely took a step back at center. You definitely took a step back at right guard.
Maybe not.
Well, yeah, asterisks.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. The offensive line, everybody's new. We're going to have NPF, but, 6 games. But I think now everyone else has switched positions or they're gone now. So the entire offensive line is going to be completely different. And honestly, I'm okay with that as of right now.
Yeah. I think that, and by the way, Volcano, between the Jags and the Titans for the division, I honestly think it's the Jags pretty much, and then everybody else is just trying to keep jobs or impress. I mean, if you look at the Colts, a lot of young players on offense. They didn't really do anything to their offensive line. They didn't do much to their wide receiver room. They did bring in Isaiah McKenzie to kind of be another speed threat.
The Colts are the best quarterback in the division, though. With Gardner Minshew. I think he's going to light it up. If he starts all 17 games, they might go undefeated.
The offensive line used to be an elite unit, but now it's not. Then you look at the Jaguars, who are actually, again, improved pretty much across the board, even with Cam Robinson, who was a mid-left tackle, and they severely overpaid for him and is suspended for PEDs. And then the Texans made some improvements, but they're also a very young team with a lot of people who need to prove stuff. The Titans are literally one bad season away, I think, from scrapping a lot of players and possibly some coaches and starting anew. So, I mean, it's really the Jags division until somebody makes it their division or makes it a challenge. I don't think it's between the Jags and anybody at the moment. What do you guys think about Will Levis now?
My opinion hasn't really changed in the last couple months. I don't think OTAs really mean anything. I think it's just an opportunity for coaches to see what they got, if they're in shape, that kind of stuff. Just kind of eyeball them and get ready for training camp. Once training camp starts, they got the pads on, they're hitting each other. And he's making actual game time plays. That's when I'll start judging Will Levis. But I have very low expectations for him now. I just want him to sit, learn, and clean up any mistakes he had in college, particularly decision making.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I might end up trying to go to one of the training camps in the Titans stuff. I don't know that I'm going to wear any Titans stuff while I'm there, but
you got to wear the AFC South show.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get instead of asking for autographs or anything, I'm just going to be like, hey, talk to me for 5 minutes. I'm going to do this. Try to do an interview kind of deal.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be sick. But let's see. So this brings us to the other free agent who has been talked a lot about lately, at least in the local Titans media, that being George Fant.
Yep.
For the right tackle. He's a veteran lineman. I imagine he would do everything that he possibly could to pass on some wisdom to the next crowd. I think it would only help, at least in the 6 games that NPF is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I actually heard Ron Slay talking about it the other day, that if Fant comes in and does well, maybe you put NPF at right guard and you let
Brunskill at center.
Yeah, because he's played a little bit of center.
Yeah.
And I think that would upgrade all 3 of those spots, because I think NPF has better potential at guard than he does at tackle, at least based on last season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, NPF, he did okay for a rookie, but he wasn't great. If Dennis Daly wasn't so terrible, we would have realized just how bad NPF was. He was fine. I was okay with him coming back because I thought he'd be better the second year, but made a bonehead move and now he's suspended. But George Fant's going to be having a workout in Nashville on Saturday. So that's exciting. He is from Bowling Green, which I did not realize that. So that's only about an hour outside of Nashville in Kentucky. There was a whole Twitter thing going on where they're talking up Fant to the Titans, and Fant commented, and he was just like, all they got to do is call. So it looks like he wants to be here. We're bringing him in, so there's at least some kind of interest. I think if he comes to the offensive line, if he plays decent, I think he's going to continue being right tackle. I don't know how the rest of the line would change. I'm actually fine with keeping NPF at right tackle, just because he'd be a pretty decent backup tackle. And the Titans just need depth, and we just don't have any. We're just, I've said this many times on the show. It's just Titans are always looking for those jack of all trades, so we have masters of none. So I really want NPF to just solidify that right side, and maybe he could be the starter. But if not, I want George Fant right now. I hope they sign him today. I'm cool with Brunskill at right guard. The only thing that scares me is center with Aaron Brewer.
Yeah, Aaron Brewer. He did put on 25 pounds, so he is good. Closer to the 300-pound mark, if not there.
And he was a center in college, so he was playing out of position at guard. So I'm willing to give him a chance. It's just it scares me. And yeah, I'm a little scared about Andre Dillard, but honestly, for me, I feel like he's the safest one on the offensive line right now. I trust I trust Brunskill, and then honestly Skoronski, and then Dillard. So Andre's just kind of my third place right now.
I'm definitely with you, Volcano. Andre Dillard is a former first-round draft pick who did not play well in Philadelphia. If I'm not mistaken, Jordan Mailata was an undrafted tackle that came in and was just developed over him.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the premier tackles in the game.
Yeah, Dillard just didn't play a ton.
So he got hurt a lot.
Yeah, I know. So it's just like, we'll see what happens. If not, if he gets injured, then that's a whole other conversation to have. What's going to happen on that left side?
Yeah,
I think Skoronski would probably end up playing left tackle, and then they just fill somebody at left guard.
Probably put Radens there or something.
But Radens, he's still hurt. He won't be ready for week 1. Honestly, he's probably going to come back like week 8 whenever they do that whole take people off IR.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm fine cutting ties with Radens. I don't really want him.
Yeah, at this point, wasn't he a second
round? He's just holding up. He's only got next. I think he might be a free agent at the end of this year. I can't remember, but it's about time.
It wasn't that Dillard didn't play well; he was just injured and lost his job. Same if you call out sick 20 times in a month, someone else fills your spot.
Yeah, that's true. He wasn't bad. It's just he wasn't. He's a first-round pick. People expect a lot more out of him. If he was a third-round pick or fourth-round pick, like, wow, he's still in the league. Good job. So it's just like, we'll see. Now he's actually going to have a chance to be a starter. I think this could really spark a flame. Change of scenery does help a lot of players. And offensive linemen, they're not running back, so they do get better over time until they plateau. But I do have some optimism about Andre Dillard. With him replacing Daly, it's just a big piece of mind. Even with Taylor Lamont, we were always like, he could be hurt any play now. So I think with Dillard, maybe it's just hopefully this is consistent. We'll see. But it's only a 2-year deal. I think Skoronski is eventually going to be the future of that left tackle position.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say all the chips fall the way that we think they're going to fall. So D-Hop is not technically under contract yet. They have to do a little bit of renegotiating with a couple players. Who's eligible for renegotiation at this point?
There's a few people. So there's talk about extending 2 players and then restructuring 1. So the restructure would actually be Harold Landry, who signed a big deal last year, but then he tore his ACL in training camp, didn't play a single snap. So he could get restructured because we know he'd be on the team for a few years to come. So that would be a very easy restructure. He'd get his money. We just move the cap from this year to a year where we're flush with it, because we won't be paying a quarterback big money. So that could be the restructure. I think that one makes the most sense. The other 2 options is extensions. 2 big name vets who were considered trade targets, Derrick Henry and Kevin Byard. I say extend both of these guys. Kevin Byard is still young. He's still been playing at a consistent level, Pro Bowl level. Dude's a beast. Extend him 2 years. He'll retire at 32, 33, or we could re-up for another year or so. Or, he may leave us. We might suck and go to a contender. But the fact that he's such a homegrown player, I think he would stay here. He might go to Steelers because he's a Steelers fan, but we'll see. So extending him and then extending Derrick Henry, who I know people say extending a running back is a terrible idea, but I say extend him, give him 2 years because he'll play this year and he's a free agent at the end of the year. And we can't let Derrick Henry go, especially if he puts up another 1,400 yard season. You just got to keep him. He's somebody you have to game plan for, and nobody likes tackling that man. He's kind of the secret weapon if you use him right.
Yeah. Volcano, it's all, I don't really have like a date for it. It's literally just going to have to be after some money is freed up.
Yeah, I bet it's today or tomorrow. We cut some no-name running back to make us at 89 players, so we have room. And then we're gonna have to restructure, cut a bigger name, or extend somebody. So I think honestly we're waiting for those moves to play out than D-Hop. So expect an extension first.
Yeah, Byard is the only one who managed to dodge the injury bug out of those 3. You're right. And again, how long can you bat 1,000? I don't think he's missed a game since he's become a starter for the Titans.
Never been hurt.
So
or in college.
Yeah, that's true. Byard is a resilient man.
MTSU boy, man. That's my alma mater too. Shout out KB.
How will Kelly use him right?
Don't have him run it 30 times a game. When it's third down, I'd say use him instead of taking him out like Todd Downing would do. Everyone knew it'd be third down. They'd take out Derrick Henry and then screen pass, lose 3 yards. So I'd say using him right is actually using him in situations that actually makes sense. Use him in the fourth quarter whenever we're ahead. And use him smart. Don't just run it, and then give him the ball back. It's a losing formula that we keep doing.
Do you think there's a chance that this combination of Ryan Tannehill and DeAndre Hopkins could see the Titans have a 4,000-yard passer for the first time since the 90s?
Only if Derrick Henry doesn't get 320 touches a year. Honestly, I'm really hoping we shift to a pass-first offense, even with Derrick Henry. We got to use play action. Tannehill is one of the best play action passers in the entire NFL. And last year we were like third best, and we used it, I think, 32nd. I think we were dead last in actually using play action. Also, third down, and he knows how to lose a game, Titan Fox. And that's true. Everything that we did great, he just ignored and did the opposite. So if we do become a play action team, if we start throwing the ball downfield, not these 2 or 3 yard dump offs when we're 3rd and 10, I feel like we just play to lose a lot. And the reason why we never have 4,000 yard passes is because we go 3 and out so often. We're never able to build drives. It's always 3 and out, or we'll have 5-6 plays and throw a pick. Like it's ridiculous. So I hope we can get a 4,000 yard passer. I think 2020 was the year to have done it, but I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Yeah. I know that Tim Kelly can bring the best out of a quarterback. He did it with Deshaun Watson. His best year as a quarterback was under Tim Kelly, where he led the league in passing yards. He had his most touchdowns and the fewest interceptions. coincidentally also the same year that D-Hop left. And I had predicted that the moment D-Hop left, the touchdowns and would
I was
go
on the
up.
show.
Yeah. That's
Someone go back.
yeah. That was deep ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just Tim Kelly has a very interesting and particular offense. It's kind of a variation of the Mike Shanahan system because he learned a little bit with God, I think he was the QB coach for Gary Kubiak at some point. Anyway, so it's going to be kind of a zone play action system. That's what Deshaun Watson did a lot of that year. A lot of screens. Yes, Volcano. Tennessee cut some scrub
Some running back.
McClellar or something like that.
Yeah, I've never heard that man in my life.
Yeah. So
Shocked McClellan.
there we go. So ultimately, with D-Hop and potentially George Fant, does this solve anything in a justifiable sense to say that the Titans are now AFC South contending team?
Yeah, I think the addition of D-Hop's going to give us one extra game a year. So I would, I had us teetering, 8 or 9 wins. So they're going to be somewhere around there. And I think the addition of Fant, maybe a game and a half that we probably needed. So I think having those two solving pretty big holes, I think it's really, really beneficial. And then if we alluded to him earlier, but Ben Jones maybe coming back to the Titans. He was talking about on 104.5, The Zone with Buck Rising, friend of the show. Shout out, Buck. So he was talking about how he may come back. He didn't rule out. He just coming back. He's just trying to heal. And dude's been playing the NFL for like 12 years. So he just needs to come back week 1, be healthy, and he's good to go. Ben Jones, a true professional.
Factual. Oh, man. Sorry, I pulled up the stream on Face Pages. There we go.
Yeah, I think Randy's good at plugging holes. That's all he had to do. He didn't have a whole lot to work with, and he's made a lot of magic out of very little cap space. It's just been a complete disaster. Very little draft picks, very little cap space, and he's able to, revamp this offense. The defense, not a whole lot of change. He did bring in Shaw Murphy-Bunting, which was probably my favorite. I mean, drafted all of his draft picks for offense. So I'm curious to see what this offense looks like, and I'm really, really hopeful for the future. I've been pretty pessimistic over this offseason, but I think now that we got D-Hop, potentially George Fant, potentially Ben Jones, I think that could probably solve the offense.
Yeah, if Ben Jones does come back, that's definitely going to put the Titans in a much more favorable position.
Yeah, Aaron
I
Brewer.
don't know if his body can hold up, but because during that broadcast, he talked about how his right side has had his like knee, ankle, hip,
he's like 26
shoulder.
surgeries or something like that.
Yeah, the man is very much broken down.
But he's only missed games this past year, as at the end.
Yeah, the man is a tank, and if he wants to come out and play, he's going to play.
Yeah,
bottom line.
No days off, man. That's a tough dude.
Yeah, he is a tough SOB. All right, let's get into some would you rather. All right. Actually, I lied to you. Did I do this with you already? Yes. So last week, I made Isaiah also give me a tier list ranking of the DB rooms in the AFC.
Okay.
It was impromptu, so he didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare.
Yeah.
Kind of like this moment. With that being said, we're about to do that now.
Okay.
For those unfamiliar, the tier list is S, A, B, C, D, and F. And we're going to be talking only defensive backs in the AFC. So I'm going to throw out a team name. You tell me what tier list they belong to.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably going to have to help me on this one.
That's fine. We'll start off with the AFC North, the Cleveland Browns. Main cornerback is Denzel Ward, who's had a couple pretty decent seasons.
Yeah, he's really good.
They brought in Juan Thornhill from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. Greg Newsome from Northwestern.
Yep, Greg Newsome. I believe Greedy Williams is still there. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I don't remember. The offseason always messes me up. Everyone switches teams.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good team. Honestly, probably A or B.
Okay.
It's the first team, so I don't want to start off with an A, but A or B on that one. Whatever you want to write down.
I got you. I'm just making sure they didn't.
Yeah, because Ward's a beast, and Newsome, he surprised me. I didn't think he'd be as good as he was. He scared me a little bit.
They also brought in Rodney McLeod.
Yeah. Probably an A. That's a good team.
Okay.
They'll still probably win 3 games, but it's the Browns.
All right, the Bengals, who lost their main 2 starting safeties in Jesse Bates and Von Bell.
No Eli Apple.
No Eli Apple.
They got better at least.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't even know who's there now.
DJ Turner is one of their cornerbacks. He's a rookie. Jordan Battle, he's a rookie. DJ Ivy.
I'm giving them an F. I don't know any of those
Jackson
people.
Hill.
Yeah, they're getting an F. It's unknown to me. I don't know. They're getting an F. It's the Bengals. Screw them.
A lot of rookies.
That's too unknown.
The Baltimore Ravens.
All right, they got Marlon Humphrey. Who else they got?
Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, the former Saint.
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton.
Second year safety.
He was good last year.
The Ravens.
I'll probably give him a B, just from those guys.
I'm just gonna skim through here. They brought in Rock Yassin.
Yeah, I'll give him a B.
Okay. Steelers?
I think Volcano's talking about Chris Moore or Nick Westbrook. I don't think they cut either of those guys. I think Racey McMath is going to go in or something.
Yeah, that's more likely than anything.
All right, and Steelers. They have Minka Fitzpatrick, and who else they got?
They brought in Patrick Peterson.
Oh, I didn't know that. They brought in Patrick Peterson.
Minka, Patrick Peterson, a rookie out of Purdue, Corey Trice, Keanu Neal. He's a safety.
Yeah.
KZ.
B, honestly. Yeah, I'm not super high on those dudes. Minka's really good though. Minka's elite.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and Joey Porter Jr. is there. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And Joey Porter Jr.
I don't value with these like the rookie or the receivers last time. I don't value the rookies super high just because I haven't seen them yet. But yeah, this could easily be an A. I'm gonna give them a B.
Yeah. Okay. The New York Jets.
Oh, they're an A. I love the Jets secondary. They're an A.
Yeah, obviously it was Sauce Gardner. Chuck Clark. Yeah. Adrian Amos. I didn't know he went there. All right, the Bills.
Who are the Bills cornerbacks? Because didn't White leave? Or is White still there?
Yeah, Tre'Davious White's still there.
Okay, so they got Trey White.
They've got Micah Hyde still.
Yeah.
And Poyer.
I mean, they do have a guy that returned from the dead, so I'm gonna give them S tier.
All right.
Yeah, if one of your players dies on the field and he comes back, that's S tier. That's God tier right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bills.
Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey,
Yeah.
Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, I think is his name.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think. Who else?
You know, it's 2 in a row. I'm gonna give him S tier just because I think that's one of the best duos in the NFL. Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey. I know Jalen Ramsey didn't have the best season last year, but I don't care. That's my favorite corner in the league. So that's a little bias. Nashville dude right there. So shout out Jalen Ramsey.
Copy that. All right. The New England Patriots.
Who have they got? Well, I know they just drafted what's his name from Oregon, but
Christian Gonzalez.
yeah, Gonzalez.
Jack Jones. McCourty just retired.
Yeah. Ooh.
Marcus Jones. Amir Speed. Jonathan Jones. They got 3 corners named Jones.
Yeah, that's too many Joneses. They're an F. That's an F. I'm not valuing Gonzalez. I'm sure he'll be fine, but I would do a D, but there's too many Joneses. It's hard to keep up with the Joneses.
They also got Jabril Peppers.
I don't care. They're an F.
Okay. All right. The Kansas City Chiefs. I'm looking them up right now. So you got.
I think. Yeah, who's even there?
Let's see.
Well, they still have a dude from MTSU. So I'm.
You got Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, McDuffie's good. Yeah, I don't even know the Chiefs' defensive backs are.
Kamari Connor, he's a rookie. Deion Bush, he's a safety. Mike Edwards from Tampa, he's a safety. L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, I like Sneed.
Nick Jones.
Is Ward still there?
Jalen Watson. What?
Is Shadavius Ward still there?
I'm looking. They also have Justin Reed, former Texan safety.
I don't know. I'll give him a C.
Okay. And the San Diego Chargers. Just kidding. The Los Angeles Chargers.
Sante
J.C.
Samuel,
Jackson.
They got J.C. Jackson. That's a good team, man.
They also got that phenomenal safety.
Derwin Jones. That's probably an A. Yeah. A. I don't know. I feel like I've given too many S's. But I'll give him an
A. Michael Davis, Sante Samuel Jr., J.C. Jackson. Yep. A tier.
Yeah, I'm excited for J.C. Jackson's return too. I think he's gonna have a lot better of a season this year.
Yeah. The Las Vegas Raiders.
Now, who are their corners?
That is one handsome-looking question. They got Trayvon Moehrig at safety, Nate Hobbs at corner, Ja'Cory Bennett, Ike Brown.
I don't know any of these dudes.
Brandon Faison.
Just because I don't know them, I'm gonna give them a C or D. I feel like I gave them. I was pretty tough on them with the Raiders because I just undervalued Devontae Adams so much. So I feel like I've just been real rude to these Raiders, but I'm gonna give them like a D on that one. I just don't even know this, but no disrespect. I just don't really watch the Raiders a whole lot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Raiders.
they have the best. They're the best stadium and some of the coldest uniforms. So it'd be cool to be a Raiders fan, but nah, screw them.
The Denver Broncos. Caden Stearns at safety, rookie. Patrick Surtain, Justin Simmons.
Yeah, that's probably an A. Yeah, Surtain, he's one of the best corners.
All right, that brings us to the AFC South.
Okay.
The Tennessee Titans. No, we'll save those for last.
Okay.
How about we go the Indianapolis Colts?
All right. Who the Colts got this year?
So they got the rookies. They drafted like 3 corners and a safety.
No, they're so new. Yeah.
Let's see. Julius Brents, he's a rookie. Rookie corner. Darius Rush is a rookie corner. Nick Cross is a safety. Kenny Moore the second. He's a corner.
I think Kenny Moore. Isn't he getting suspended? Was he one of those ones that got suspended for the season?
No, that was not him. That was someone else.
Okay.
Rodney Thomas is a corner.
Yeah, I don't know any of these people. I'll dare you get an F.
Jeez. All right. Colts. F tier.
Yeah, they suck.
The Houston Texans. Derek Stingley. Jimmy Ward. Jalen Petrie. Desmond King. Shaq Griffin, and Steven Nelson.
Shaq Griffin's the only thing that's going to be bringing it down. But honestly, it's probably a B, and I kind of want to lean toward an A. But my bias, if I wasn't a Titans fan, I'd probably give you guys an A just because I love Petrie. I think Stingley's going to have a good bounce back, year. And Steven Nelson's really good. Jimmy Ward's awesome. So it's a good team. So I'll probably give him a B. Very high B plus. Only, if I liked you guys, I'd give you an A, round it up, but I don't.
Sorry, my lady is texting me.
Oh, you're fine. And then so for the Jaguars, I guess we'll save the Titans for last. Jaguars, who you guys got? You got Rayshon Jenkins.
They just drafted Antonio Johnson out of A&M.
Yeah.
They brought in, they already have Tyson Campbell, who's done really well in his second year.
Is Wingard still there? That white dude that's real slow.
Yep, and Cisco.
Yeah. He's terrible.
Andre Cisco.
Honestly, C. Nothing real special. I think Jenkins is probably the best player in that secondary. I think Wingard on that team is just so bad that he's kind of like Griffin, where it's just like dropping down a little bit.
Yeah. And that leaves us with the Tennessee Titans. Kevin Byard, obviously.
Yeah, KB.
Sean Murphy Bunting.
Yeah, he's a good player. Good addition.
Christian Fulton.
Yeah, he can be very good. He can be very, very bad. Monty Hooker, he's just hurt a lot, but he's very good.
Roger McCreary.
I love Roger McCreary. Great second-year guy. He played the most snaps for the team last year. These are all the big names. Oh, Elijah Molden, slot corner potentially.
Yep.
Another guy who's young, but he's had some injuries. But whenever he does play, the dude's incredible, really. He's just a little slow, but they're probably going to move him to safety with the Monty Hooker always being hurt. So,
yeah.
And that's his more natural position. That's what he played at Washington. And then my favorite player in the NFL is Caleb Farley. So they're immediately going to get an F. As long as Caleb Farley's on that team, that defensive back group is just god awful. But no, seriously, I'd give him a B.
A B?
Yeah, B. I think they're kind of neck and neck with the Texans for the best DB room. I'd probably give a slight edge to you guys just because everyone there actually has a role, whereas the Titans, they're just kind of moving dudes around. And the fact that Farley's there, I think it's going to drop the team down a little bit. At least they're a little more, their morale is a little lower. Yeah. But again, just got to hope to God that they're healthy, all of our teams, really, because nobody likes watching a bunch of backups. I think the Texans DB room is going to be pretty sweet this year, which is unfortunate. And then the Titans, they're just so many dudes. I just want to see somebody fill a role. And Christian Fulton, this might be his last year. I still think he might get traded. That could be one way that we sign D-Hop. We could trade away Fulton, get some draft picks. I'd be okay with that because we have just so many DBs right now.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be gone. Hopefully it's Farley, but I could see it being Fulton.
Okay.
And Titan Fox, that's hilarious. Calling me a traitor. Yeah. Caleb Farley's there. F.
All right, so that's the list. Let's run down this real quick. S tier, Bills, Dolphins. A tier, Browns, Jets, Chargers, Broncos. B tier, Ravens, Steelers, Texans, Titans. C tier, Chiefs, Jags. D tier, Raiders. F tier, Patriots, Bengals, and the Colts. So that's the list there. And let's do a couple rounds of Would You Rather and call it a day here. How about that?
Okay.
Would you rather?
I just kicked the crap out of my dog. I didn't realize he was underneath me.
Attaboy. Would you rather that feeling? Would you rather experience the feeling of like, oh shit, I just stepped on my dog, or the feeling of like you have to go to the bathroom, but there's not one like anywhere near you?
I just kicked my dog. So that doesn't really affect me. And he's a tank, so he didn't even feel it.
Right, that's fair. That's fair. Death by squirrel or death by Rocky Road ice cream?
Rocky Road ice cream.
Really? You don't care for... Hold up. He says, I can pee anywhere. I don't care for dogs.
I don't like dogs either.
Child, please.
Yeah.
Dogs.
On that one. I don't like anything with more than 2 legs or under. Like, snakes freak me out. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, why are they so fast? They don't got any legs.
I think we got a leg bias.
Same with water animals. I don't like them either.
Would you rather your middle school age child take up smoking or take up like the most foul version of cussing you can think of?
Probably cussing. It would suck, but yeah, I mean, it's better than dying at an early age or like going to jail. Because a 12-year-old shouldn't be smoking anything.
That's true.
You didn't say smoking anything, cigarettes or crack, like.
Well, taking up smoking, I meant cigarettes, but I would encourage my child with it. You go, you fucker. Gymnastics or cheerleading for your baby girl?
Gymnastics. It's an actual sport.
I think I've asked you that one before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Theater kid or chess team?
Chess team, definitely. Because if they're a theater team, that means they're also picking up smoking. And, and if they're a chess kid, which I'm a chess player. So anyone, again, add me on chess.com, guys. And just Blake Bellamy. And yeah, chess for sure. She's going to be a chess prodigy. For sure,
I like
my little baby.
I respect that. Would you rather her take up reading or classical music?
Reading.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the benefits of reading, but why not classical music?
Because she's not going to be a composer. Reading is an actual skill. That's going to help a lot. Like if you're a fast reader, that's just incredibly beneficial, especially if you can comprehend what you're reading. That's how people get in like law school, like very high reading comprehension skills. So that's a whole lot better than I'd say playing classical music or appreciating it. I think both are important, but I think reading is more practical.
I think it's a valid point.
Even though a lot of people are saying we don't really need to read anymore. There's a whole lot. I can't remember what book it was, but I listened to like half the audio book. And it was talking about how basically reading can become obsolete as long as you have AI that can just tell you what it is. And I'm like, that's a terrible take. And he made a lot of points for it. And I think most of it was just nonsense. I'd have to look up the book again, but it was interesting. He was bad. It wasn't great. I was just like, okay, I gotta quit wasting my time.
Yeah. Reading is boring, or reading is better for the mind. Classical music is just white noise while you sleep. No offense, Beethoven. He's rolling over.
Yeah.
Roll over Beethoven, aka ELO. If anybody, classic rocks. But all right. You got one? No. Would you rather Derrick Henry continue to do what Derrick Henry does, even behind a patchwork offensive line? Or would you prefer DeAndre Hopkins gets 1,200 yards and gets Tannehill over yeah, it was. It's fine though. Would you prefer Tannehill and D Hop get over the 4,000 yard passing mark?
That would be cool, but no, I have a lot more vested in Derrick Henry. At this point, I want to see him just establish a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's valid.
All right. I have really no allegiance to D Hop. I've hated him his entire pro career.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably the
I
same.
really kind of hated him since the scouting combine, where he like destroyed a hotel bathroom.
Is that true?
Yeah, it was him and some like guy that played for like Louisville, wide receiver, completely just defecated on the floor of a hotel room and just peed everywhere. Like it was disgusting. It was like a bunch of homeless people, like a soup kitchen in their hotel bathroom. Nice. And yeah, so he did that on his biggest day of his life, job interview. And apparently that made him fall in the draft, like pick 28 or whatever it was, to Houston. So yeah, it's an interesting story. Yeah, it was a whole mystery, and he kept denying it, but there was apparently proof, like from the video, that he was the last one in that room.
Wow.
Yeah, so D Hop, not a great guy, which that was what we said top of the show. I don't expect him to, mentor anybody. I just want him to catch balls and score touchdowns. That's all I want out of
him. My lady was just texting me and saying that her brother-in-law ran into one Mr. Pat McAfee.
Oh, wow.
And they exchanged numbers.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's cool. Where's your brother-in-law live?
Indiana.
Oh, okay, solid.
He actually lives like in the same like suburban area as Mr. Pat McAfee. Yeah.
I saw his house, not in person, but it was like right when he moved in. And he was just punting balls because he had a huge backyard. He bought that house because it had he could basically put an entire football field behind it, and it's immaculate. I love Pat McAfee. He's like the only Cole I'll ever root for or buy a jersey for, besides Gardner Minshew.
Pretty sure he also just had a baby girl.
He did, yeah.
Shout out to Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Well, folks, think we're. I like to see you guys smiling, so forgive the jokes. No worries, TF. We understand what it is. Folks, thank you for watching. Go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. We're at 356 at the time of this broadcast. We're trying to get in front of more Titans fans, so please share with your friends. And we're going to continue to get better at what we do, and we're going to continue to bring better and better product. So if for whatever reason the presentation isn't to your liking, I guarantee soon enough it will be improving. So without any further ado, thank you again for watching. Blake, thank you for your time. TF, Volcano, thanks for being in the chat. Be good people.